There you go, your 80s versus your 90s. 80s walk away winner. We built this city. 80s, 90s, and now 98.3 The Key. And we have got a very special guest with us today, John Henson. You've probably seen him on probably Talk Soup, maybe Wipeout, but he's got a new one. It's called World's Funniest Animal Commercials. John Henson, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. So, I watched you on Talk Soup. I've watched you on Wipeout. Now I get the privilege of watching you on World's Funniest Animal Commercials on True TV.
Dude, I got to tell you, I worked with a chimp on this show, and right before the shoot, I texted my brother and said, because my brother maintains, he'll write me every once in a while and say, all you fancy comedy writers in Hollywood can't come up with anything funnier than a monkey on roller skates. And I wrote him, and I said, dude, I'm working with a chimp, and he just wrote back, careful. Those things tear people's faces off.
That's true.
And
yeah.
He put the fear in my brain. I go, I don't know, this one seems nice. And he just wrote back, don't end up on YouTube. And if you watch the special tonight, you're going to see a level of fear in my eyes, even when we're having an exchange and it's going as scripted. If you look, now that you will see a level of fear and me kind of just leaning back at a 45-degree angle, kind of like the way my prom date did, just trying to get out of the personal space of that chimp.
Funny that you say that, John. I think I work with a chimp as well daily.
Yeah, so you know what it's like.
I do. And
when they flip, they go right after your business. They go right for your jewels.
Oh, my.
So, I've watched you forever on Talk Soup, and that's one of the shows where I can just gut laugh through the whole thing. Is it World's Funniest Animal Commercials? Is that going to be the same kind of situation?
It's fantastic stuff because it's commercials from around the world, and in Europe and in Asia, dude, they have a whole different set of standards of what they consider appropriate,
right.
and they have a much different, more absurd sensibility. And some of these the overwhelming majority of these commercials you will have never seen before, and they are unbelievably funny and really twisted. I had a blast working with these people. The people at True TV are fantastic. I did not know, but True TV is actually a top 10 network now. They've snuck into the top 10, and I love those guys. I want to get into business with them. They had it's almost like the Wild West over there. It reminds me of what E! was like in 1995, where they just didn't literally have the manpower to watch what you were doing too much.
Right.
True TV just kind of gave us a studio and said, we'll be back in 2 hours, hand us a 60-minute tape, and we're good. And so we had a lot of fun over there with those guys at True TV, and hopefully I'll be doing some more stuff for them.
All right, John, so tell us, how did you get the nickname Skunk Boy?
Whoa, let's hear about that, yeah.
Well, I have a birthmark on the side of my head, a white streak of hair, which now, quite honestly, that I'm an old and gray, weazened character like something out of Lord of the Rings is much more difficult to establish than or notice than it was when I was a spry young 20-something kid on Talk Soup. But Greg Kinnear, the gentleman who I took over for, started Talk Soup, was known as Soup Boy. That was his nickname. And my first week on the show, they were making fun of my white streak on the side of my hair, and I referred to myself in passing as Skunk Boy. Little did I know that 2 decades later, that would still be haunting me. So, unfortunately, I gave myself that nickname. So I've just had to give in to it now. I named my corporation, my production company, Skunk Boy Inc., and just sort of took the if you can't beat them, join them route.
That's a good way to look at it.
And we also love watching you on Wipeout, too, as well.
Yeah, Wipeout is coming back this summer. We got Jill Wagner back with us, our original sideline reporter. The lovely Vanessa Manillo is moving on to, Jill Wagner, who was with us for, I think, 4 seasons, and then she left to pursue some acting opportunities, and we had the talents of Vanessa Manillo for a year, and then Vanessa moved on to have a family and do some other professional opportunities, and we were able to convince Jill Wagner to come back and join us. So it's sort of a reunion of the original trio of Wipeout. We're very excited about it. The shows look great. We're shooting them now. We just did the first 4 in December. They look fantastic. And that is, Wipeout is just about as perfect a gig as you can have. I mean, I hope nobody that I work for is listening, but that's a job that I would do for nothing.
Right.
And it's a joy to work with John Anderson and Jill Wagner, and it's quite frankly, it's just fun to show up at work every day because it's as fun for us to watch that footage as it is for you guys.
Right. So is it all? I mean, is it scripted at all? Is it all just off the cuff when you guys they're talking back and forth about these contestants?
Well, I think the union might have something to say about this, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but if you watch the show, you'll realize it's almost nonstop punchlines for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
The action moves so fast that we don't really even have time for a setup. It's kind of just punchline, punchline, punchline.
Right.
And that doesn't happen by accident. But the Writers Guild maintains that reality shows don't have writers. We have producers.
Correct.
So I'll let you guys do the math on that and just say maybe John Anderson and I just magically improvise seamless wall-to-wall comedy for 60 minutes each week.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, John, thanks for taking some time. We look forward to it. World's Funniest Animal Commercials, True TV. It's on tonight, 8 p.m. Thanks again, and check back with us every once in a while if you could.
You got it. Thanks.